And now it's time for Paige and Daddy's Cooking Show. Paige and Daddy's Cooking Show. Paige and Daddy's Cooking Show. Hello and welcome to Paige and Daddy's Cooking Show. That is the real spoon that we used in the intro, made by Paige. I'm Daddy, and this is Paige. And today we are cooking seared chicken and roasted acorn squash with sauteed kale and chestnut pan sauce. Excellent. Yes, that's right. And thank you to Blue Apron for supplying this meal. Paige, you want to lead us through what we're using today?
Sure. So what you'll need for this is some boneless chicken breasts, kale, acorn squash, a yellow onion, a lemon, ground nutmeg, butter, honey, and roasted chestnuts.
Okay, so what we've done is we've washed and dried the kale, we've washed and dried the lemon, and now what we're going to do is prepare the acorn squash. And I've got to say that preparing the acorn squash is really more of an adult job than it is a kid job. So I happen to have it, see? That's what I'm saying, right? That's why that's important. So what we're going to do is I've just halved the acorn squash, and then I'm going to continue to make it into smaller slices just so that it can lay down nicely on the pan. So we'll do that, and we'll be back in a minute. Okay, so we've gone ahead and we've removed all of the seeds out of the acorn squash, and now I'm just putting in the last little, it's about a ½ inch per slice. I'm just cutting it down to the very last part. Again, this is an adult job, not a kid job. So okay, so now I'm
Wait, this has an end on it.
That's fine.
Oh.
We're gonna use this.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna go ahead and pop all that in.
And then the next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take some olive oil and drizzle it over the acorn squash, and take some salt.
Some salt. That looks good. You want some pepper too?
And some pepper, please.
And then that nutmeg that's there, Paige.
Oh, and the nutmeg?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so we're just gonna salt and pepper it liberally, and then I'm gonna put the nutmeg. Now, nutmeg is one of those things that can go, it can just be dumped right in there.
And then some tongs.
All right, and as you can see, this is a real kitchen with real dishes and a trash can sitting right out. So no judgment. We're making this, it's not a movie set.
Yay!
There's a dog who looks really, really excited that she might get something in the near future. And, all right, and I'm gonna help her tong this out.
Tong it. Tong
it out. The perfect kitchen utensil. I must say that tongs are the most amazing things that you can use in the kitchen. They're right next to with the spoon and the fork and the knife. I think that's it. So we'll go ahead and put this on the tray and get it going in our oven that is going at 150 degrees. So you'll see us here.
400.
What did I say? 400?
I said 100.
I said 100. I meant.
There's a difference.
Yeah, slight difference. I'm at 450 degrees.
So
we're just going to put it right on there.
Pan.
Yeah. And then what are we going to do with Paige?
And then stick it in the
oven. That's right. Okay, we'll go ahead and go back to commercial break.
And yeah. So I forgot an ingredient when we were introducing them. So you also need some rosemary. And if I can ever get the bag open, you can just take it and then peel the rosemary leaves off of the stem against the grain, which is pretty easy. And then Dad, you can go explain what you're doing.
Sure, I'm just making little inch-long slices of onion here, just that will go in a little later. But I'm just going to spread them apart.
Tell us about your apron.
Oh. Over 40 and feeling foxy.
Nice.
Yeah, there's a reason why there's gray in these temples. Is that embarrassing?
We're gonna have to cut that off the footage.
We're keeping that.
No, we're cutting it.
So all we're doing is really we're preparing the rest of the vegetables. So you can see I've gone ahead and just prepared the onion. What I'm going to do while we're on commercial is I'll finely chop the chestnuts. Chestnuts are big in the Blue Apron recipe pantheon right now. So they seem to be very popular in all the cooking from Blue Apron. So we'll go ahead and cut away.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
Okay, so we are back, and I am just finishing up. We've prepped the kale. We've taken some of the stems off of the kale because those are even more bitter than the kale itself. And what we're doing is just kind of roughly chopping this, getting it ready, because now we're going to make our little kale side dish. And to get the kale side dish, we're going to turn it over to Paige, who I think is doing what right now, Paige? What are you doing over there?
So I added olive oil into this pan, a tablespoon of olive oil, and then I'm going to change it to medium-high heat, which is about 7.
Okay.
Not quite on.
Not quite on yet. It's important to turn it on, guys.
That's right. Don't just leave the gas going.
There we go. We're good to go. There we are. Hey, we're learning.
That's right. That's right. This is all about learning. Both Paige and I don't claim to be professional cooks.
How about this?
Both Paige and I
Does this work?
do. Yeah, that'll be perfect. Don't claim to be gifted cooks either, but we do claim to love to cook together. So that's what this is all about, is the opportunity to cook together. You got some hot oil there?
Yes.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to cook the onions for about 2 to 3 minutes on this medium to high heat. And we'll just keep stirring it, and we've got the squash going down in the oven. So while we cook that, as soon as that's done, we'll come back and we'll add in the kale. So why don't we go ahead and break now, and we'll show you when we add the kale.
Okay, so what we have is the onions in a pan, and they have been cooking for a little bit, and so they're nice and translucent and soft. So what we're going to do next is add the kale, and as well as a 1/4 cup of water. What?
To your right.
To my right. Oh, I have it here. Lovely. Okay, here's the 1/4 cup of water, and season with salt and pepper.
And how long are we going to cook that, Paige?
And we're going to cook this for about 3 to 5 minutes.
Okay.
So until the kale is wilted.
Okay, good.
So
And we'll just stir it occasionally. So
yeah, stirring occasionally.
we'll transfer it back to a
Commercial.
commercial. All right, sounds good. So we've cooked down the kale. Kale's just about done. We're going to transfer this to a bowl and keep it over here by the oven so it stays warm. And then also what we're doing is we're going to come in here and we're going to flip all of the acorn squash. So it's been about 12 minutes, and what we're supposed to do is just flip it over and make sure that it cooks on the next side. So after that, once we transfer this and we've done this, we're going to start cooking the chicken. So we'll be back in just a second. So now it's time to cook our chicken. Paige is back here. Paige, what are you doing?
I'm heating a tablespoon of olive oil
Excellent.
in that pan that we just used for the kale and onions, and you can wipe it out if you choose to. But ours was pretty cleaned out, so we didn't.
And all I'm doing right now is salting and peppering the chicken, and we're gonna place it skin side down when we go to cook it. So I just need to make sure that I pick the skin, so that pan should be nice and hot. Paige, is that true? Great. Good. Go ahead and move out of the way for me. And it's really important, Paige, that when you do this, you lay the chicken down away from you.
Okay.
That way you
Don't get hot
avoid
oil.
getting oil on yourself. Right?
Okay.
So just move it away from you. Skin side down. It's going to be 4 to 6 minutes. We're going to brown it on both sides. It's going to be about 4 to 6 minutes on each side, and then we'll be back.
Okay, so we have just flipped our chicken after 4 to 6 minutes, and it is nicely browned, and we're going to wait another 4 to 6 minutes. And also, I would like to tell you guys about Blue Apron. So, Blue Apron is a company where they deliver fresh, organic recipes with all the food in boxes that you can order and pick what your meals are going to be. And then it's delivered right to your door. And it has exact proportions, everything that you need, and then it has recipes that you would never eat on regular occasions. I think one of the craziest ones was pork with an apple marcotta, and I would never think to have apples in a savory dish, but it turned out really well, and it was really good, and so it really, expands our palate. And it's really special to me because I get to spend time with my dad, and it's kind of our special thing to cook. And I love doing it with him, so yay! Yeah. Okay, so we are acorn squash is browned and
Good, Paige.
nicely roasted.
Okay. Why don't you put it right over here next to your mom here? Oh, by special thank you to Mom for being our camera person.
Yeah, thanks, Mommy.
Notice I didn't say cameraman.
Okay, so it's nicely browned.
And you'll notice I pulled out the chicken. The chicken actually is in good shape. Paige, how do you tell if chicken is done?
If you make a fist, and then on the outside, not this part, but this part, and if you don't do it too hard, but right here is the texture that it should be.
Okay, so now we're gonna, from the fond, which is a word that I actually learned thanks to Blue Apron, we're gonna go ahead and make a sauce.
Okay.
So Paige, could you please give me a quarter cup of water? And what we're doing is we're just adding the butter, the honey.
And we have this adorable spoon. It
Yes.
is so cute.
Mommy got this for Christmas, and she seems to be really thrilled. Paige, can you get the other ingredients?
Yeah.
So we're just, look at that. Look at that cute little spoon. Adorable. Chestnuts? Yeah, chestnuts. And the rosemary.
Chestnuts. And you have some rosemary.
Yep.
Pop that right in.
All right, pop that bad boy in, and what we're going to do is try to scrape some of that brown stuff off.
Which is called the fond.
The fond. Not the fawns, which is a reference that people my age don't get. But it's actually the fond. And so, Paige, how long are we supposed to cook this? Can you tell me? So you can see we've added kind of all that stuff, just really trying to melt out that.
2 to 3 minutes. And we need to add the lemon wedges.
Oh, the juice of 4 lemon wedges. And we're, they say that we should have already pre-juiced this, but we've washed our hands and pre-seeded, and we're just going to, oh, no, you want to make sure that you cover up so you don't get a seed in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there you go. Good. So we're going to do one. We each do another one. And,
Goes all over.
it goes all over. And then we do the other one. Okay, so why don't you come back in 2 minutes and we'll plate this bad boy and we will be ready to go. Okay, we are back. I am just, you can see we've gone ahead and tried to put a little bit of a height to our presentation. And we're just going to dump some of our lovely
Pan sauce.
pan sauce that we just did with the, over that a little bit. Looking good, some nice rosemary. And we'll do that to the rest. Paigey, why don't you and I try this and see how it is, okay? So you and me, baby. Alright, this looks really, really interesting, doesn't it? Alright, there's a piece for you. Look at that. That chicken is perfect, even though Mommy was concerned. Oh my gosh, did you see that? Absolutely delicious, Mommy. Alright, look at that. Alright, so I'm going to get a little bit of that, a little bit of the kale. I'll try the acorn squash. Let's see what it tastes like. I'm gonna try a little bit of that squash in there. There you go. Try that. Oh, the lemon is actually really nice. You can taste the lemon and the onions coming out. That's great. Well, special thank you to Blue Apron. We again thoroughly enjoyed cooking one of your recipes, and also a special thank you to you, my dear. That was a lot of fun.
That was.
I love cooking with you.
I love cooking with you.